Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to go over how you can go about setting up an email task for your survey in Qualtrics. Now, if you haven't watched this video on workflows that goes over general workflow properties and what you should keep in mind when creating them, I suggest you stop this video, head up here to watch this one, and then return to this one when you're complete. With that being said, let's hop into the survey and take a look. Now, where you're going to configure the email task is going to be right here in the Workflows tab. You're going to head there, then head to Create a Workflow, and now you have these different options. Usually, when it comes to an email task, they're sent after a specific event is completed or received. So, for example, an email could be a thank you email that sends after someone finishes a survey response, and that would be triggered when an event is received. Similarly, it could be a notification that's sent to a specific person when a survey is submitted that would also be triggered when an event is received. Things like that are usually what email tasks are configured with, so I'm going to choose this option for now. And then after I choose this option, I'm going to have a number of different choices, and what I'm going to look for is survey response. So every time a new survey comes in, I'm going to have an email trigger from that survey based on either specific conditions or every single time a survey response is submitted. Then newly created responses, that's perfect. Keep the language, perfect. I'm going to finish that. I'm going to call this test email task. Okay, perfect. So every time a survey comes in, then I'm going to want a specific action to occur. Now, in my particular case, looking at this survey, this is a pretty simple survey. If someone says yes to this question and they enter an email address in here, I want them to receive an email. The way I'm going to set this up in this workflow is to add a condition so that question 2, if they answer yes to this, I'm going to switch this to all so that both of these have to be true for this to send an email. Additionally, if in question 3 they enter an email address, so this guy is not empty, then what I want to happen is I want to send them a thank you response or a thank you email automatically. I'm looking for email, perfect. And now here's where we actually configure the email task. So within the email task, there are certain components you need to have. One, you need to have a to email. If this is being sent to a specific person as a notification email, this guy is really simple to fill in. You just enter in email@gmail.com or whatever email you want the emails to go to for that one specific person, and they'll send to them every single time these specific conditions are met. Additionally, if it's more dynamic and it's going back to the person who took the survey, there has to be a way for us to access their email information. It's either A, going to come in from a survey question like I asked here, enter your email address if you'd like to receive a thank you email from our team. Then here, their email address entered will be the email we'll send to. Or B, it comes from a contact list where the recipient email is what we pull from, and then we'll send an email to that. So there needs to be a space where that email address is saved so that we can pull it into this particular field here and then send that person that follow-up email. Once this guy is set, this from name, you can leave it blank or you can do something like test. There needs to be a subject line. We can do test subject. And then finally, once you have a message in here, I'll just do thank you. Then this will be open for you to save this guy and send the email task or send the email. Now, some other options you have are to include a response report, where this sends someone a link that includes their responses so that they can see at a later date and you can include the recipient data, like their embedded data or things like that. in the email response so that they can access it as well. And show full question text similar to this. You can give them any additional information that you'd like them to see. But otherwise, once you do this, then you can save this. And every single time these conditions are met, then an email will be sent out from Qualtrics with a follow-up of whatever of your choosing. So in this case, we can do a quick run through of this so you can take a look at what that would look like. So I'm going to do a quick preview. Yes, I see this question. email@gmail.com. Perfect. So that went off without a problem. Now the way in which we're going to check to make sure that's sent successfully is to go to the workflows, go to my run history, and since email@gmail.com isn't a valid email, it's going to fail. Now let's see here, email to field is undefined or empty. Interesting. Email to, did I leave that blank? Enter your email address. Oh, I may have forgot to change it back. Okay, it looks like I left it as the panel field. Here. So let's change this back to survey question. Save this, close out of this, head back, and then do one more test. Yes, I can see the question, and email@gmail.com. All right. Now let's double check to make sure that's sent successfully. Okay, it's in queue right now. I refresh, succeeded without a problem. Once again, to recap, the way in which you're going to set up an email distribution, rather an email task in your workflows, is to do the following steps. Head over to workflows, create a new workflow that's started by a survey response, a specific event received, that event being a survey response. Configure the conditions you want. Usually you'll always want a condition where the email address isn't empty, because there are many cases when the run history will show something has failed based on the fact that the email address is empty, and you don't want to stack up too many failures, as that could lead to a number of problems down the road. So usually you want some sort of condition where the email address isn't empty. Then once you have your conditions in place, once you set up your email task, you'll need to make sure that you're pulling in this email address from somewhere, either from the contact list or from the survey itself. But this email address has to be filled in. Then once that's complete, you'll need to enter a from name, a subject line, and something in the message body, and you'll be good to go. And once you have all that set, you can save that, include the response report, show full question text, include the recipient data, and then once all that is set, then you can send out the email, and it'll do this automatically for every survey response moving forward. Hope that clarifies things. If you have any additional questions or concerns or anything like that you want to go over, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to clarify anything or go over anything further. Thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video. Take care.